There were several alien sightings since ancient Egypt, and people have believed several mysterious works such as crop circles and pyramids were the work of aliens. Though there were several sightings of UFOs and even aliens themselves, most, if not all of them, have been proven false, many of them mistaken for balloons, satellites, or Venus. We have never gotten any real proof that aliens exist. So do these extraterrestrial beings really exist? I would say that it is more unlikely for them to not exist. Let's calculate the possibility. The universe is extremely large, and because it's too large, it is pretty impossible to go outside of our galaxy, the Milky Way, within the near future. So it will be enough just to calculate how much alien life there could be only in the Milky Way. The Milky Way has 250 billion plus minus 150 billion stars. So let's say there are about 400 billion stars in the Milky Way in total. According to Kurzgesagt, about 10% of all stars are sun-like stars, meaning there are 40 billion sun-like stars. An estimate say about 1/5 of them has a habitable planet, preferably similar to Earth's environments, giving us about 8 billion habitable planets within the Milky Way. And even if those planets have life, even if only 1% of them have life, there would still be 80 million stars with alien life. And that was only considering the Milky Way, which is pretty small compared to the other galaxies. But there's more to consider. Stated by Space.com, the Milky Way is 13.5 billion years old, and Earth only consisted about 1/3 of it. And as I said, theoretically there will be 80 million stars with alien life, and that was considering that only 1% of the 8 billion habitable planets have life only in the Milky Way. And Earth is young compared to other planets, and the human species evolved this much in only about 200,000 years according to Universe Today. That amount of time is only a speck of dust from a universal perspective. So clearly billions of planets could have achieved a similar amount or much more with advanced technology. Some of those planets would have tried to communicate with other life forms in the universe, including Earth, like we're doing right now. But then, why aren't we receiving any? This is the Fermi Paradox that tries to answer the question of where are all the aliens. And there are several possible explanations, but I rounded them up to 4 big ones, references used from Vox.com. The first explanation is the concept of the Great Filter. The Great Filter is an incredible barrier that filters life forms in the universe. Some examples could be war or climate change. The concept of the Great Filter has 2 big scenarios. The first scenario is that Earth is very lucky and special, and it is the only planet that has passed the Great Filters when other life-existing planets around us couldn't. This could mean that Earth might be the first or only civilization, at least in our galaxy. If this is true, we are not finding any signs of aliens because they came across the Great Filter and couldn't survive it. However, this scenario has a low possibility of being true considering all the amounts of life-existable planets. Now, the second scenario is that there is an inescapable end for all life in the universe once it reaches a certain point. Maybe all other life forms of the universe already reached this certain point and got destroyed. Again, this is possible because there are several planets that are much older than Earth. Young planets or new planets that are just being created may be too underdeveloped for communication. If this scenario is true, Earth will die sooner or later by something we have done or by some mysterious outer force. Moving on, the second and probably one of the more realistic explanations is that our technology simply isn't advanced enough to find alien life. We are shooting lasers and sending rovers into space, but maybe we are not doing things right. Scientists say that 2020 might be the decade we find alien life. However, there is no assurance that aliens think like us and they need similar elements to live. We say that planets such as Titan or Europa, which have water, might be where we can find life, but maybe we're looking in the wrong places. Or the aliens might be trying to contact us, or maybe they don't want to be found and hiding their identities. We'll never quite know until we have advanced technology. The third explanation is that we're living in a simulation where alien life was not programmed, which might sound a little bit sketchy, but if we are living in a simulation, the reason why we couldn't discover certain things, including aliens, might be simply because they weren't programmed in the first place. So then why is the concept of aliens so familiar to us? It may be because of our learning system, or maybe the creators are just bored and watching us for entertainment, like how we play simulation games. The last and a little bit depressing explanations is that there are no aliens, and humans are the only existing life in the entire universe. Humans haven't found any actual evidence that there is alien life out there, and maybe we won't because they didn't exist in the first place. Imagine, we are only the ones alive in this huge black void of 1 trillion light years. The universe is empty and dark and so lonely. If we destroy this planet of a giant rock we're living on, or it gets destroyed by some other incident, then there will be nothing left in the entire universe, at least in the Milky Way, with life on it. But remember, as it said, there are 80 million of life existable planets, which were considered only 1% of chance, only in the Milky Way, which is very small in comparison with other galaxies. So this theory is the least unlikely explanation out of the 4, but everything has a possibility, so I thought this was worth mentioning. We have only discovered a teeny itty bitty weeny pixel of the universe. Everything I said above are just theories. If you're really curious and really want to know the answers, we have to keep exploring. Send more rovers on planets and shoot more laser beams to outer space and go on more space travels. We might never know, and that might be better for some things, especially things that are unknown. But wouldn't it be exciting to find out that we are not the only ones alive in this endless void? The universe is waiting for us, somebody to discover its mysteries.